Hi, welcome to this Blender video tutorial entitled Blender Materials, Colored Material. The process of rendering an image in Blender is quite similar to the process that occurs when you take a picture with your digital camera. The image is a result of the location, number, intensity, angle, and color of the light sources reflecting off the subject being photographed and focused upon the image plane of your digital camera. In real life, objects possess a multitude of reflective characteristics by their own nature. Objects are dull or shiny, hard, soft, matte, variegated, opaque, translucent, transparent, colored, or multicolored. Real-life objects often possess an identifiable texture or a pattern that gives them a certain visual weight or feel. Now, by default, Blender objects have no such reflective characteristics. These attributes must all be attached to an object by assigning it to a material. A material can be thought of as a container, holding a wide range of attributes which define how the lighting and the camera will interact with the object and all of the visual characteristics that will be displayed when the object or objects are rendered. One of the simplest and most common characteristics added to a material is color. To demonstrate how to add a colored material to an object, I've placed a smooth UV sphere in my Blender scene. To add a material to the sphere, I select it and press the Materials Context button located in the Properties panel. Here I can either add a new material to the object by pressing on the New button, or adding an existing material by clicking on the Browse ID Data button. I'll press the New button. This displays a series of panels that contain many of the controls for adjusting the visual characteristics of a material. Each material is automatically assigned a name. The default is Material, and then Material.001, .002, and .003, and so on. Since materials are reusable and can be assigned to any object, it's very important that you name your materials using a naming scheme that makes sense to you. Here I will rename this material Blue Medium. Now the material name Blue Medium will appear under the Browse Data ID button, and it's available to be used by any object. To add a color to this material, I'll click on the Diffuse Color block. This displays Blender's color selector. Color can be controlled by either adjusting the red, blue, or green color sliders, or by clicking your cursor inside of the color wheel graphic. It's also possible to use the HSV settings, which stand for Hue, Saturation, and Value. Or you could type in a specific hexadecimal number identifying a particular color. I'll go back to the RGB and select a medium bluish color. By default, the blue medium material is linked to the object's mesh data block. If we look at the outliner panel and open up the sphere object, we see that it has a mesh named Mesh, and that mesh has a material assigned to it named Blue Medium. Any other objects that share this mesh data block, as is the case with linked duplicates, will also share this material. Now it's also possible to link a material to the object itself rather than the object's mesh data block. To do this, I will click on the X to the right of the material name, which will remove its link to the mesh data block. I'll then select Object rather than Data from the linking drop-down box. I'll then click on the ID Data button and select the blue medium material. Now if we look at the outliner panel, the blue medium material is linked to the object rather than the mesh. I'm going to unlink the material from the object and relink it to the mesh. There's a preview panel in the Materials Editor that displays a preview of the material on a number of different types of objects. By default, this is set to a sphere object. You could change the preview by clicking on any of the icons to the right: Plane, Sphere, Cube, Monkey, hair, or a sphere with a sky background. I'll press F12 and render the scene.